He had taught seminary in the Mormon church, and usually these seminary teachers are very well screened for their goodness, for their ability to influence the young people. Well, they got that part right. He certainly knew how to influence.
Dennis Cope represented to these investors that their money would be placed in various high-yield bank trading programs, and represented that they would be making returns of up to 120% a year.
My husband wanted to do it, and being newly married, and, if you want to do it, we'll do it. It was his idea and my money.
He represented that these investments would be a no-risk, high-return, that their money would be placed in financial institutions. It would not leave the bank, but would be used as collateral to be traded.
And we thought, well, we may not make all this interest, but at least our money's safe, which, in fact, it was leaving the bank immediately.
He was operating a classic Ponzi scheme where money was coming in, being diverted for personal use, and then making Ponzi payments back to those investors.
Well, he'd had secret meetings with different people making you feel like you were really special, and you couldn't tell anybody else about it, and you had to sign disclosures. He'd give you maybe 24 hours notice or something. I mean, if it was going to be in Las Vegas, then, man, you'd get on a plane, even if you had to get a last-minute ticket. There was just something about him that absolutely drew people. You would do anything for him. It was amazing. In the beginning, they do give out a lot of money, and then to continue to give out money, they have to continue to bring people in. But as things got more and more suspicious and no money was coming in, then he couldn't bring more people in, and that's when it started to collapse on itself. He had told people if they wanted to, they'd get their money back, and so I actually wrote for my money back. We kept waiting for our money, and I kept emailing him, why is this not happening? Why is this not happening? It was always, well, this has happened, it's going to come next week. So we just kept hanging in there. Never got a payment. Originally, when this wasn't turning out the way we thought Denny needs help. There were a lot of spiritual people in this group. I said, we need to start a prayer group. I'm going to collect the people together and see if we can get some group spiritual energy going here to help kick this over. Well, meanwhile, somebody sent us the email, all of his email addresses. So I just used these email addresses, and I started contacting people.
When the investors in the Cope case started talking amongst themselves, they began to put the pieces together and realize that there was something seriously wrong here, and that initiated the complaints being filed. A lot of times victims become frustrated with the amount of time it takes for these cases to progress, and over time their support tends to decrease. However, that was not the case with Claudia Nelson. From the beginning through sentencing, she stayed active in this case.
The beginning, the pieces were small and I didn't really have a case, but I actually worked on it for several years until I had a case that really looked like something. I knew that the people would never get their money back, but I knew that there were hundreds out there that if we didn't put them away, they would be the next victims. If you find somebody that's excessively charming, excessively generous, particularly if they're part of your religious background or part of your ethnic background, maybe you just ought to look a little bit deeper.